Hey kids, it's Papa. Are you ready to explore the Bible? All right. Well, I believe that it is Wednesday, hopefully, if we haven't gotten things messed up. But in any case, as we take a look at Exodus chapter 12. Turn there with me, if you will. Okay. Remember, we came down to the last plague, and God had said, I want you to take a lamb, and then take the lamb, and then take your lamb, and I want you to sacrifice that lamb. I want you to eat that lamb. And by the way, you say, eat that lamb. The lamb's a picture of Jesus. We're supposed to eat Jesus. Well, keep in mind that Jesus and the Word of God in the Bible are considered the same thing, and we should just kind of devour the Word of God. We should make it ours. We should make it who we are. And so, yes, and we should make Jesus who we are. We're to be like Him, and we're to follow Him, and we're to not only use Him as an example, but we're trying to be more like Him. And so we find that, eat them. And notice that they were to eat all of it, and they were to not break any bones of the lamb. And the interesting thing is that when they crucified Jesus, they did not break any of his bones. Kind of interesting there, huh? Anyway, so they had the Passover, and God said, I want you to remember this, because every year at this time, on the 10th day of the month, you're going to choose your lamb. And then on the 14th day, you're going to slay the lamb. And then you're going to observe the Passover to remember that the death angel passed over where the blood was. And so you're going to hold the Passover every year. Okay? And so, and by the way, they still observe the Passover. And so they should. It's interesting that when Jesus Christ was crucified, on the 10th day was the day of the triumphant entry into Jerusalem. We call it Palm Sunday, where he came in riding on a colt, and they threw down their garments, and they threw palm leaves out in front of him, and he came in on a carpet of clothes and everything. But the interesting thing is that they chose him, but then just 4 days later, they crucified him. And so on the 10th day, he was chosen. Jesus was on Palm Sunday, but on the 14th day, or Thursday, he was crucified. And so we find what a beautiful picture this is. But finally, Pharaoh woke up in the middle of the night because he heard screaming, and his son was dead. His oldest son. The one that he had told all of Egypt that they should be worshiping, this son of his, and he was dead. And he realized God, Jehovah, had done exactly what he said he would do, exactly what Moses had said that he would do, and now he was angry. And so he called for Moses. And in verse 31, notice in Exodus chapter 12, verse 31, and he called for Moses and Aaron by night, and he said, rise up and get you forth from among my people. Go ye, and all the children of Israel, go and serve the Lord as ye have said. Take also your flocks and your herds as ye have said, and be gone, and bless me also. Wow. And so notice in verse 33, and the Egyptians were urgent upon the people that they might send them out of the land in haste. For they said, we all be dead men. And the people took their dough before it was leavened in their kneading troughs. And they took everything. And the interesting thing is that the Egyptians said, here, go, take this money, take this gold, take this jewelry, take this, go, just get out of here. And so they left. There were probably more than 1 million people who left. And the Exodus was an amazing thing because, by the way, Exodus is named because they exited Egypt. They left Egypt. And as they went out of Egypt, they were being almost pushed out by the Egyptian people. by the very people who were holding them in before. But God had said, no, they're going to push you out. And sure enough, they did. And so, what have we learned from this? Well, we learned that God is always right. Okay? God is always right. And even when it seems like there's no way he could be right, he's always right. Always remember that. God is always right. But then we find that the very people who were keeping them in turned around and pushed them out. Kind of surprising, huh? And yet, that's what God does. And so we find that God always keeps his word. Well, that's it. I'm going to let you go. But we love you guys, and keep that in mind, all right? Bye-bye.